All right. What's up, everybody? How are you today? Welcome to Ask Me Anything BYOB Money Multiplier, August 7th, 2024 edition. So today we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk a little bit about our master plans of let me save it. I'll announce this in a second, all right? We're going to go around the horn. We're going to introduce everybody, and then Hannah and I and Shauna created probably one of the most genius ideas I think we've ever had today. And so we'll let you guys know what that's all about here shortly. But more importantly, get your questions in the comment section. We're going to answer all of those questions and more as soon as we get back. See you in 14 seconds. All right, cool. Welcome back, guys. Welcome to Ask Me Anything. Today is August 7th. We're going to answer all your questions in just a moment. Thank you for joining us and taking your time. Put those questions over in the comment section. I'm Stephen Nagy. I will be your Suedo host today on this fun program. I'm currently drinking water, although this is happy hour. So if you enjoy an alcoholic beverage, go grab one, get some coffee. I might have just had a couple of those if you can't tell. Grab a water, tea, whatever's your poison, and we'll have some fun today. Pass it over to this young lady right next to me.
Hi, I'm Shauna. I'm up here in New York up with Joe and Chris. I'm actually super happy to be here today. I love you guys all so much. And I should drink water because I don't drink enough of it. So I'm going to go grab a glass of water. So I'm going to pass it over to Linus.
Hey, Linus Nolt here from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Today, some people might think it's poison, some not. This is raw milk with some maple syrup.
From his own cows.
Not quite. Very close. It's my uncle's cows just next door. So, very good. I will hand it down to Carson.
I love it. I don't got any raw milk or cows in the back, but that's pretty cool. We're calling in from Southern California. Hyped to be here as well. We always love being on AMA. I don't have anything crazy for you guys today. Any good news? Nothing really going on right now. Just in the ground, working hard, grinding. So let's go for it, Hannah.
Hey, let me chime in real quick. If you guys are not following Carson on social media, tune into his Facebook. Carson has been making some fire content out there. So Carson Hurling, go look him up.
I love it. Thanks, Hannah. Yeah, we've been posting a lot about IBC, real estate, adding them together. So it's fun. And any support's appreciated. And so is Jason, guys.
Generational Gains. Awesome podcast.
Thank you.
Hello,
Same with Jason.
Hello, all. I'm down here in the city, beautiful Orlando, Florida. Just did a fire podcast with Miss Hannah Kessler. Can't wait till that comes out. Patty thought it was live, so she wanted to listen to it. Tomorrow, come to Founding Fathers Financial Freedom, 3 p.m. Come learn some stuff. Come learn about some mindset shifts, just changing one thing, like we're going to teach you today. Over to my buddy Hannah right here. I'm going to be like you when I grow up, Hannah. Take it away.
And actually, so how you can find Jason's webinars, he does them every Thursday. If you go to themoneymultiplier.com, underneath the resources tab, there's an events calendar. And so every Thursday you can go and tune in to Jason's. They're free webinars. I mean, just go tune into them every single week. And he does different topics weekly. But I'm at home right now. I've been home for about 2 weeks. Next week is my last week. I'm going to be 25 years old next week. So don't call me next week. I got some stuff that I'm doing that I just want to do next week. But actually, Carson, I don't know if I told you this yet, but I'm coming back out to Southern California later this month. There's live events going on in Rancho Cucamonga, so right outside of the LA area. It's on Wednesday, 8/21, and Thursday, 8/22. Actually, my mom and I were planning a week stay out in California, so we're going to fly into San Francisco. We're renting a car. We're driving down the coast, going to Hearst Castle. Then after that, going to the LA area. And so we're just going to spend some mother-daughter time together. And I'm going to brag for a second. I got us a hotel booked at the Four Seasons Beverly Hills. And we're going to go do some shopping on Rodeo Drive and, kind of just hang out, just mother-daughter time. So that's what's going on over here. I'll throw it to Mr. Joseph, Mr. Helock.
That sounds awesome. California. I just got back from Florida. There's a couple of days that I'm going to be strictly building policies and getting everybody back together. And then we have our 2-day coming up this weekend, and that's going to be fun. And all of us will be there and answering your questions, and you guys learning different topics from us, and just happy to be here. And then back to Sneggy.
All right. So before we get into questions, we wanted to kind of let you guys in on a little secret of what we have planned for the Nashville event coming up October 10th, 11th, and 12th. So first off, who's joining us in Nashville for the Infinite Banking Advanced Strategies Live Mastermind? Everybody on here who in watching right now is joining us in Nashville, October 10th, 11th, and 12th. In the comments.
Say me or put I in the comments.
Now, I know we still have tickets available, I believe. Right, Hannah?
Yeah. We're almost sold out. So, I mean, if you've been waiting off, I mean, now's the time to go get it, because I cannot open up the room just because of the capacity. The fire marshals will be coming in and saying, hey, you guys got to shut this thing down.
Yep.
So.
And not only that, but I've officially last week, I've traveled over 1 million miles on Delta Airlines. So I've done some traveling in my life. And one thing I can tell you is it's the perfect time right now, about 2 months before you want to do something, to schedule that travel. So if you want to save some money, book your airline tickets now, get the hotel booked, because those things get expensive too, especially in Nashville, and get set up, because this thing will sell out. But here's our little secret that we're planning to do. So Hannah and possibly Shauna and myself, and we might have a couple more people, we don't know yet, but we're going to arrive early on Thursday, because we do have a VIP dinner Thursday night. So if you're VIP, make sure you join us Thursday evening. Looking forward to that dinner with everybody. But we're going to get there in the morning, and we're going to hop in a car. And we were looking earlier, and what we found out was Mr. Dave Ramsey, Mr. Buy Term and Invest the Difference, which, by the way, Craig is going to prove all you guys wrong this weekend on our 2-day virtual training. But anyways, what we found is that Dave Ramsey's office is only about 30 minutes from Nashville. So we're going to fly in a little early. We're going to hop in a vehicle, and we're going to drive on over to Dave Ramsey's office, and we're going to go in, and we're going to cause a little trouble. That's all I'm going to say. But we're going to have some fun with it. So if you guys watch Dave Ramsey,
take Dave out for lunch.
Your time. But if you do watch Dave Ramsey, or maybe just tune in that day, we're going to be at a live show, and we'll see what comes of it. So it should be a little bit fun there.
Hey, let me add too. So how this came about is because if you're not registered already, Shauna, go ahead and put the link for this Friday and Saturday. So literally 2 days away, Friday and Saturday, we have a virtual training that's happening. It's 2 days of advanced IBC training. And it's really just for policyholders. Even if you don't have a policy, that's fine. But it's really for my people who have policies and want to deepen the utilizations of their policies. But Craig Yenny, he's not on today, but y'all have seen Craig Yenny. We call him Mr. Spreadsheets, but he's really going to mathematically prove, hey, buy term and invest the difference versus the infinite banking concept and using your whole life policy. And so we're going to go into that training. And I thought it would be really cool just to, and I don't want to use the word debate, because I think people can think of debate as a negative term, but just go in there and just have an open conversation with the big head honcho of buy term and invest the difference. And I'm going to vlog all of this. And so I just want to bring an honest conversation to the public. And so that's the reason that we're going to go in. I called up my mom today and I said, Mom, Steven and Shauna and I were kind of scheming over here. See what we got going on. So that's going to happen actually the Thursday before the event. And Shauna, if you can too, post the link of how we can also buy tickets to the live mastermind class happening in October, Nashville, Tennessee. So I hope to just see everybody there.
For sure. Yeah, so it's this weekend. The link for the virtual is go.moneyschoolrei.com/IBC. And then I will find the link for the Nashville event and put it in there.
Thank you.
Unless you can send it to me.
I won't.
Okay. We do have a couple questions if we want to get into it too. I'm going to start with this one real quick. So Jackie Believer says, hi, just got my first IBC policy with MM, which I think must mean Mass Mutual. It has
Money Multiplier.
Oh, Money Multiplier. Huh. It has a deposit premium section, but not the PUA section for the dump in. Do I keep waiting or reach out to IM person?
Implementation person is what I'm thinking. And actually, what I think this is, you probably have a Lafayette Life policy and you're looking at your online portal. It's called the LPUA, which stands for Level Paid Up Additions. That's the box that you'll check. But my advice, reach out to your mapping implementation person and they'll handhold you through this and walk it through. So that would be my advice.
Perfect. And then I did just put the link at the bottom. So it's themoneymultiplier.com/mastermind2024. Okay. Justin has Joe with a HELOC at 9.25%. Is there anything that you could really even invest in with it being that high? Might not be worth it, but figured I'd just ask anyways.
Well, anything over 9.25 is going to be better than what you're making. So even if you find something at 12, you're still utilizing it. So,
who's at 12? Joe, who's at 12?
There's a whole bunch of people at PMC. You got Rob and Nicole. There's minimums with that. It just depends on what you know, like, and understand.
Joe, how can Justin contact you?
Joe at chrisnoggle.com. Joseph at chrisnoggle.com.
Yeah, technically it's Joseph.
Yep, it's right there.
I'll talk.
Yeah, if you're looking.
I like that question though.
Go ahead, Kelsey.
Yep.
I like that question though because he has a point. Yes, 9.25. Where can I get a better return and make a profit? But he's also asking what's the risk. Like if he has an adjustable rate, it's at 9% now, and the investment's 12. There is risk there that the interest rate might be high. Maybe the investment fails. He has a loan on the HELOC now. So what's the risk mitigation for the return on investment? I think is also his question, which is exactly the question I would ask too. That's the reason I may or may not want to use a HELOC personally. So what do you think about that, Joe? What would be your thoughts?
You still have to know, like, and understand. That covers that part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. He says he has a fixed rate, so that helps. 9.25 fixed.
If your first position lien on a house, please don't pay me. I'd rather take your house. Now what are you going to do now? I don't care. Don't pay me. I'm first position lien. What's my risk? You've been doing it, Carson, for two years. Haven't you paid back every one of your investors?
Yeah, very little risk for them.
Because you didn't want to lose your house, right?
Yeah.
Because I'd be the first one there taking it right away from you.
Yeah.
It's just risk reward at the end of the day. Are you willing to take on that risk to deal with all that if something does go wrong or not for 2.5%? This is where you step up though and you negotiate. You learn how to communicate. You learn how to negotiate. You learn how to do the business. We have a great course called Accelerator through Private Money Club that teaches you how to do this. But you negotiate a deal. Say, hey, you need to get this deal done. You're gonna make a bunch of money on it, but I need 18% or whatever it is, and get what you need. People need money right now. Banks are tight right now, and so learn to negotiate, and you'll get good returns. So maybe 2% spread's not worth it, but maybe 9% spread is worth it. And so, what does your investing parameters look like? What's your risk tolerance, and how do you make that work for yourself?
Everybody that knows me that knows that my interest rates are a lot more than 12, so I don't play around with 12.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick before you can move on, where's our big money guy at? Where's Noggle at right now?
He's doing a podcast, live podcast, actually, with a local business.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like somebody else earlier that skipped one of our meetings. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything.
That one's booty hurt.
I love it. Real quick, I'll hit on Dawn's question too. So will there be a recording of the 2-day IBC if we can't attend live? Yes, there will be. And usually we get those out within 24 hours of that. So if it's on Friday and Saturday, you'll have the recordings by Sunday. Okay, Jim is saying, so can you use your policy for bail money?
Jim, what the hell are you doing over there?
You and Steven.
That's when we were talking about crashing Ramsey's place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not a real
Or
question.
maybe
Okay.
it's just Nashville in general, because Nashville is pretty wild. I don't know.
And that's yeah,
But
that's where I
yes,
am.
right.
Real question.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, you can use your policy cash value for anything. And actually, if Miss Kristen or Alan, if y'all are listening to me, you guys aren't going to be happy when I say this, but I mean, crap, go buy a pack of chewing gum down at the convenience store with your policy money if you really wanted to. But so you can use it for anything and everything.
The only problem with it, though, is it does take a few days to get the loan out. So you might be sitting in jail for a little longer than you want.
Hey, wait, let's talk about that. That's why. So I do this. I keep 3 months of overhead expenses inside of my regular checking account. So if I see that there's more than 3 months of overhead, and I'll just be very transparent, my overhead monthly is about $20,000 a month. So if I see that there's more than 60 grand sitting in my checking account, I will move that money into the policy. So if I needed money like yesterday, I got money in my checking account that's sitting there that I can go and deploy out.
Nice. Okay, MRC is saying, I'm ready to start my second policy. However, my first policy annual anniversary is in December. What can I do for both policies not to be so close in their anniversary date?
Linus, you want this one?
There's only one thing I'm thinking of right now that would not always be an option, but one might be to backdate it. And in some cases, you can backdate a policy to where we could shove that that anniversary date back a little bit, anywhere from 60 days to 6 months back from the date of application. Not every company is going to work for that, but there's some options there.
I think
I was thinking the second policy, you could do it as a biannual. So then you would be able to get the second one maybe in October, and then the next one would be, maybe in March, and then your December, you could split that up 6 months, and then that would be December, and then June or July, however that would break up. So that would kind of.
Awesome, guys. Now the third blue shirt on the show today is going to give my 2 cents as well. So MRC, I mean, we're in the beginning of August, right? So you could have this policy approved and funded by the end of August, which is still 4 months away from, 4 months away from December. So how much time are you looking in between them? When this one's funded, you can always pull a policy loan to help fund that next one, right? Not exactly what we're recommending, but did you guys know that policy loans were actually created by the insurance companies to keep people from surrendering their policies back in the 1800s? So that's a fun fact for you, MRC. So you could fund it now. You could use some of the policy loan if you need to fund it in December. You can change to monthly instead of annual. You have different ways, like Joe was talking about, to fund the policies as well. So,
Love that.
Did you just get through that part on the Nelson Nash Institute, Jason? Because I just did too.
I went through 3 sections the other day when I was walking up and down the hill for 3 hours. So I don't remember which section.
I learned that same thing literally yesterday.
It was at 1840, I think was the date, right? Is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
Do they talk about farmers in that book?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet.
They probably do at some point.
Yeah.
All right. So that is the question, Yo, is saying, if I purchased a policy in one state and moved to another state, is the policy that was purchased in the former state protected by my new state's laws, or is it still protected by the former state's laws? And then Carson, I saw that you gave me a link in the private chat.
So here's my 2 cents on it, and I'm 99% confident with this answer, but let me just go fact check this. But the state that the policy was written in, so like for example, my dad's policies when he started them in Kansas, or even my first policy when I was 18, I was still living in Kansas City, and that contract is still within the state of Kansas, even though I updated my address now to Florida. It's still within that Kansas law. Now, I'm 99% confident with that answer, but if you want to know, just reach out to me, email me, hannah@themoneymultiplier.com, and I'll check with the carriers. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to remain within the Kansas state laws with that contract. Now, any policies that I purchased living here in Florida, then that contract is within the Florida state laws.
I think that is the right answer. I mean, let us know what you find out. Hannah, I just had someone ask me the same question and went to, some of the powers that be at one of the carriers and got the same feedback, right? And got that what Sean is sharing there as well, where it talks about state to states, and since it is state statute, really you might want to check with an attorney. You might want to check and see what they know about the protection of that piece too. So.
Yep, and then
I think the link I threw in there is
yeah.
For it.
Yeah, I think we always have the link.
Yeah, Carson had this link. I put it in. It should be available for you to click on too. James Kirk is saying, Hannah, is that how you use IBC to cover your lifestyle expenses? What you were just kind of talking about. How often do you take loans for this purpose?
Yeah, so actually come join us Friday and Saturday. So we're going to get into actually my dad's portfolio of how he uses his policies to create passive investment income streams. But what I would rather do, instead of using my policies just to go and pay my monthly expenses right now, now my answer is different if I'm using my policies to supplement my income during my retirement phases of life. But what I'm doing right now is I'm using the cash values to buy myself cash flowing assets. Doesn't matter what it is, if it's private lending, note investing, crypto, if that's what you're into. I'm personally not. I don't put any money into the markets, but I put that money into those investments, and I only do investments that cash flow me monthly. And then every month when my borrowers are paying me back, that's what I use to cover my monthly expenses. So I'm really not just going from policy to paying my expenses directly right now. I can, and I have done it before. Like there's been some months where I've been living on the road in my van, and maybe I racked up a higher than normal credit card bill, and I need the help and that support of my policies to pay off that credit card bill. So I'm not saying it can't happen, but I think there's smarter ways to use the money to create more revenue streams into me. And then that's what I use to pay the monthly expenses.
Love that.
Joe approves that answer. That's just like his gas station example. Right, Joe?
You got it.
Right,
Pulling in on the left and pulling in on the right.
It took me almost 2 years to get that, by the way, or a year and a half to finally figure out what you were talking about. I'm like, it's the same $100. What's you got, a silverback certificate or something? What is this? What's happening?
Say it now. Let us hear it.
All right, so there's two cars and they're on vacation. Me and Jason, we're going on vacation. We're driving, so we both need gas. So we pull up to the gas station. He pulls to the left side of the pump. I pull to the right side of the pump. He puts in $100. I put in $100. We both go in to pay. Jason pulls a $100 bill out of his pocket, hands it to the cashier. How much of Jason's money did he just spend? $100. I take a $100 bill out of my pocket. I hand it to the cashier. How much of my money did I just spend? It's not my money. I take my money, run it through the policy, take my money out of the policy, put it into an investment. The investment comes in with interest. That interest is what's in my pocket. I'm already making money twice on that money.
Good
Love
story, Joe.
Hey, real quick, and y'all go Google this. I'll be talking about this on Friday and Saturday. So James, this is kind of what I'm referring to, but go look up the cash flow quadrant. And there's 4 sections of that, of how people are producing income and making money for themselves and their family. And the whole idea is you want to be in the quadrant of the investor quadrant to leverage your time. And that's what we're here talking about.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And we only got one question right
Bless
now.
you.
So
Bless you, Stephen.
yes, bless you, whoever that was. All right. Dusty Showers, Pest Tips, and Animal Rescues says, hey guys, I'm cash poor, but have a bit in crypto. The crypto market is expected to go up soon. Have some credit card debt and a car payment. Any advice on a policy?
Buy low, sell high.
And don't lose money.
Who expects the crypto market to go up? Just curious, and at least in the short term.
I threw $100 in yesterday. I'm down 3 though. So I'll let you know.
I'm up. I don't put anything in it. I win.
Because it doesn't matter how much you make, it only matters how much you keep.
Yeah, but and seriously, so the credit card debt, I would tackle first and foremost. That's gonna be the highest interest. So what do we got to do that? I mean, if you're paying 20% on a credit card and the crypto goes up 15%, which is a home run, you're still losing money. And so let's get rid of the debt before we start looking at growing wealth and investing. I mean, otherwise you're just gambling, which is fine. Just understand what you're doing.
And Steven likes that the sports bet's legal in Florida now, right, Steven? So, yeah, I love what Steven's saying. He's saying, hey, why are we taking care of our future self by investing and looking for returns when we don't have things settled right now for our present self? So like you're saying, take care of your cash flow and recapture the debt you're paying to someone else first, the interest you're paying to someone else.
100%. And I've always said this, like if I'm going to gamble, do I want to look at some chart on a screen that's like going up and down, or do I want to like watch sports and like have fun with it and gamble? Like I'd rather do that. So, but whatever you're into, some people like Brian like to sit at his computer all day and look at charts, but that's fine. Bubba.
Day trading, yes, that was
I thought you said sharks. I was really intrigued for a second, but now I realized you said charts.
No. That's my son. He likes the sharks.
But no, it's good. I mean, I don't know the crypto. My biggest problem with Bitcoin, at least, has always been it tracks the markets. It's supposed to be the alternative to the markets, but if you look at charts, it tracks the markets. I mean, when the Dow and the NASDAQ drop, Bitcoin tends to drop, and vice versa. So to me, it's not to the point yet where it's going out. And then you have things like, I read something earlier, like Donald Trump Jr. like put this thing out like, oh, we got big things going on in the crypto space. This is the future. So then you have these people that are grifting on it and pushing these different things. And do we really need a Trump coin? Come on.
And wait, Gabe is opening up his Nelson Nash BYOB book. Gabe,
I was gonna really piggyback on what you're talking about with, just use the policy to buy cash flowing assets. Well, they talk about using it with a business, right? Nelson Nash talks about having 2 businesses. One is your primary income generating businesses, and 2 is your banking business. And of the 2, the banking business is the most important. The same way BMW has BMW financing, but they don't just have a bank because it would cost them too much to acquire customers, competing with banks. But they have captive customers with the people that want to purchase the BMWs. So I'm a big proponent on investing in yourself, but really you want to build an asset, build a business. For me and you guys, I've just been taking so many notes, and I love being around the campfire. You invest in things you like, know, and understand. I love jiu-jitsu, and that's why I opened up a jiu-jitsu school. It did take me a while, about 9 years of training, but once I decided to open up a school, there's about 2 years of studying the markets and just teaching all the time and getting to a point where people are willing to pay me to come learn jiu-jitsu from me, because there's already a lot of people that are more established. And I did have to live off of my loan policies, right? But everything went to the business, and now we have cash flow. We're cash flow positive, and I'm getting ready to start investing in marketing. Marketing is something else that now I can get a return on, right? Where because I have a product that can sell, but it does take time. But really, you are your biggest asset, so you should invest in your own education. But there's no science to it. It's more of an art. There's the mechanics and the paths and the method that we teach. But to make a fulfilling life, you got to find work that you like, know and understand, right?
Gabe, I love that, man. Thanks for sharing the story. And the space that you're sitting in right now, how'd you pay for that?
Yeah, with the policy, even like within the business, like this one, just a little. I get the drinks at Costco, coconut water. I buy 40 water bottles for $4. 10 cents a piece, and I sell them for $1. So here, I buy it with policy money, and then get the money from the customers, run that back through the system. There's mechanics to it, but it's just about using your creativity and using the policy to buy cash flow and assets.
And the first principle we teach every single day is think long term. And we're not talking about 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. We're thinking about multi-generational thinking, right? We're talking about 30 years, 50 years. And Gabe's showing us right now that he's buying into something that he loves, that he's passionate about, and it's going to be successful. But he's also, at the same time, simultaneously being a banker. So not only is he generating cash flow with what he's passionate about, that's the first job, making money. The second job, number 2, is banking. And he's doing both simultaneously. So that's the power of what we're teaching. So thank you, Gabe. That's awesome.
I'm so sorry. I had a call come in. We have like a crazy
I thought Steven was making you disappear to make Joe laugh. I didn't know what was happening.
No, I'm going to go get my baby. But, okay, I got to get off. I'm going to start teaching jiu-jitsu. But have a great rest of the card room.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just to follow up on the crypto thing again, like if that's what you know, what you like, what you understand, what you believe in, great. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You have it's similar to the stock market, right? You have no control over any of it. What's going to happen is going to happen. So if you're one of those people that believes in long term, Bitcoin's going to go to 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, whatever. Awesome. Just know what you're getting into. Know it tends to track the markets. I saw you said, hey, Bitcoin was 20,000 last year, but it was also 65,000 2 years ago. And so when did you buy? What does that look like? We go back to what Joe was talking about earlier with the drawdown effect. If you buy and sell at the wrong times, you're riding that thing, you're going to end up losing. You got to make a lot more than you're losing just to break even again. So there's a lot that goes into that. So just kind of know what you're getting into. If you're using that as a way of, for the future, for building wealth, whatever the case might be.
Yep.
He did kind of follow up a little bit that he was looking for advice for profits. But then also, I don't know if we want to hit on part of the question, like even if we took crypto out of the question and it's like, I have cash, I'm cash poor, how do I, have a policy? Or if you're just expecting kind of lump sums to occur. I don't know if we want to hit on that.
If we're cash poor now, right? The first thing we're gonna teach anybody is, well, how do you create more value in doing something? Whether it's getting another job, like Crystal talked about, getting a side hustle or doing extra work on the side, or is there something in your current how you earn money today that you can optimize to do it more efficiently, to make more money, to get better at it? Because you have to be able to pay yourself first, save. Like I talked to a guy the other day that I was really inspired by him. He started not saving anything, and then he was following us. He started paying himself 10%, right? And then he started working up over a couple months to where he was paying himself 18%. Like that's the first step. If you do that, then you can start a policy monthly. Like you don't have to have a big lump sum of money to put into a policy, so you can go create something that's revenue creating, cash flow creating. You have to pay yourself first. You got to start with baby steps and just do the first thing first. So whether we're talking about having the money tied up in crypto, or it's in real estate, or you've got 10 kids and you're putting them all in private school, right? If you don't have cash flow, how can you go make some more money first?
Hey, let me chime in too, because Dustin's asking, hey, I'm not looking for crypto advice. I'm asking for advice on where to put the profits. I hopefully we're being very, very clear here. What I would do, because everybody's got their own philosophies, but I put my profits in the policies, because the whole idea is run the money through the policy first, and then through my policy, I will go buy my crypto. I will place my profits back into the policy if I don't have more crypto to go buy. And let me be clear with that. I'll even get even more detailed for my people who have been practicing this. max out your paid up edition premium, or AKA I call them dump-ins. Max those out. The whole idea is capitalize, and don't be afraid to capitalize, because once I get that money through the policy first, I'm earning my guaranteed uninterrupted compounding, and then I'll take it back out to go place it into the crypto.
Hannah, can I ask for a distinction there? So when we're teaching banking, right, we're talking about the paid up editions. We're talking about pumping more into it early so it starts compounding, like you just said, right away. But we're talking about after the policy's in force, going back to that carrier and saying, how much additional paid up editions can I put in this policy in this month, right? That's what you're speaking to? Just
yes.
To be clear? Okay.
Yep. I'll make this comment. If you are a Money Multiplier member and you're practicing this with us and our team, reach out to your implementation specialist. I won't get into this. I got a podcast episode coming out here soon with Clay Summers. And if you're going to be at the October Mastermind, you'll meet Clay Summers. He's been with one of these insurance companies for over 40 years. And we get deep into the MEC limits, how the insurance companies figure out those MEC limits. But anytime there's a material change on the policy, meaning that I pay a premium, I have an age change, something happens, that MEC limit moves. So that MEC limit is a moving target, increasing each and every year, each and every time there's a material change. So I just ask them, after I pay my premium, I say, hey, how much extra paid up edition premium can I add to this policy without hitting MEC? And for my people listening, if you don't know what the MEC is, it's just an acronym for Modified Endowment Contract. It's an IRS tax code. And we just don't want to overstuff the policy, go over the MEC limit, because then if we do, we're subject to some tax consequences. And we don't want that. We want to keep all the tax-free benefits that happen in the policy.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit on this, Hannah, already, but it does. He has a business and he buys crypto as his cash flow. So it's almost like adding that step in.
Yeah, so this would be the and piece of it, Dusty. Like, so we're saying put the money in the policy where it's growing guaranteed in your one hand, right? It's guaranteed, it's locked up. Your policy basically, once you funded it, sits in a corner. I don't know if it gets to hang out with other policies or not, but it's just sitting in a corner. Yeah, Caleb's book right there, the and asset. It's by itself. When you borrow from the general fund. So now you've got money working in two places. It's growing inside the policy where it's guaranteed growth. It's most likely going to earn you a dividend, right? They're all, every year that all 5 of the mutually owned companies we work with have been in business, they've been profitable. So whether it's 100 or 175 years, they've been profitable every single year. So you're taking the money, you're putting it in your banking system, and then you're going to go out and put it in crypto. Now you're making leverage with it.
Hey, Jason, one thing I just want to say to that, actually, it's even longer than that, because these insurance companies have been around even longer than our tax code's been here. And tax code's only been here since 1913. So there's so many, and I don't know, maybe I'm not doing my math correctly. I think after I say this, you're correct, Jason. But these insurance companies, they've been around since the late 1800s, early 1900s.
And we've got 100. I think the math is 100, 137, 148, 165, and 175 years. These companies have been in business, the ones that we're partnered with. So,
yeah. Hey, and also let my ADD run here for a second. Justin, I'm talking to you right now. Justin, I'm coming up there August 17th to Larry Steinhaus's event, Investor Schooling. If you guys are around the Philadelphia area, he's in Langhorne, Pennsylvania. I'm going to be out there on the 17th of August in 10 days from now. So hopefully I'll see you. Hopefully I'll see your sister out there. And then also something that I haven't even been talking about just because we're trying to make it through this year. But do you guys know, okay, and this might be like a very Gen Z thing I'm about to say, but on Disney Channel, you know how they had the crossover of The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody and That's So Raven and Hannah Montana. And they had this like big crossover of That's So Sweet Life on Deck with Hannah Montana. Anyways, for my Gen Z millennial people, you'll get that cartoon. It's me.
I got you.
but we're doing that. So Larry and I are actually putting on a co-host event in March of 2025 down here in Florida, Tampa, Florida. So that's coming up. And so Steinhaus and I, we got some cool things coming. Anyways.
Hannah, when you said that, I was hoping.
What are you going to call it?
I don't know yet, but that's my idea.
Hannah, when you were saying
like
that,
it.
when you and Carson were like vibing there with me in between, I was literally sitting in the middle thinking, I hope this is not what our infinite banking conversations sound like to people. Because I was like, what the hell are they talking about? I have no idea what's being said. And I looked at Brian, I looked at Joe, and there's like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Linus, you don't even know?
Shoot, I was raised Amish. What are you talking about?
True.
I do. I loved that. So Raven, that was my girl. All right. So Fern is saying, about how long does it take to receive funds once I've requested a loan from my policy? Should I be prepared to wait a few weeks or will it be less? I requested last Friday.
Fern, should be 3 to 5 days. And if you haven't heard, you can always follow up with the carrier or follow up with your implementation specialist, because I have made mistakes before not using my implementation specialist and not filled out something, like forgot to put my social on something or forgot to fill out a piece. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we sent you an email about it, and I hadn't responded. So if you haven't got it in a timely fashion, just reach out. Usually 3 to 5 days.
I've had that happen where someone, they did that and they called and said, hey, it's been 2 weeks. I'm like, well, first off, if it's been like a week, say something to us so we at least know about it, because we don't know if we don't hear from you. But what happened is the client went in and requested the funds without talking to their implementation specialist first. And the funds were sent via paper mail. So they got a physical check, right, like this, right here in the mail, and it takes about sometimes 3 to 4 weeks to get that. And so that was a mistake they had made when filling out the paperwork online. And so the implementation specialist just said, hey, make sure you do this, X, Y, and Z, and next time it'll be 3 days. So
yeah, be that polite squeaky wheel is what Brian's saying. He's saying,
exactly.
Yeah, follow up, see what's going on. You're responsible for this.
Yeah,
You're responsible. You took ownership.
Yeah, and I got a text from a client yesterday, same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, let's even add on to that, because, hey, you are in control of all of this. A question I sometimes get is, Hannah, this kind of sounds too good to be true. What are the cons? How can I screw this up? And that's the biggest thing. You are the biggest person that can screw this thing up. Nobody can screw this stuff up besides you and how you use the policy. So, you got a team of support people that are here to help you. And then let's even talk about that. People ask me, well, Hannah, you don't charge for your services. How do you guys get paid? And what's in it for you guys? Right? So, I mean, we get paid directly from the insurance company. That's how I feed my kitty cats and keep my lights on. But the whole idea of how we make this a win-win scenario, because I'm telling you right now, when you read this black book, Becoming Your Own Banker, you will understand that one policy is not going to suit and solve all of your financing and your banking goals. And as time goes on, you're going to expand and start more policies. And hopefully you like us enough, you see the value that we're giving to you, that you come back and you start more policies and you refer your friends and colleagues and family members. And it's just a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point right there. One of the questions that we get quite a bit on this kind of stuff is, what's the risk of infinite banking, or what's the risk of the policy, or where's the risk lie? And we all have different answers, but my answer is this: the risk lies with you, the policyholder. That's the main risk, because if you don't manage it correctly, like Hannah's saying, then it cannot work as efficient as possible. But that's why we're here. We're here as a resource to educate you and give you that knowledge so that you can manage that risk.
Efficiency is the key.
Beautiful. Okay, so Mimi is saying, so if you have one policy, is it better to use the cash value to loan out or pay off my home, my only debt? So if your home is your only debt.
Yeah. You want to make arbitrage.
Mm-hmm. Hey, well, Joseph, hit it at both angles. So, hit it at cash flow angle, hit it at interest rate angle.
Depending on the interest rate of what your house is, you have equity in your house. You could come in and utilize the home equity. You could utilize the cash value. You could create a tandem, which would be putting it into the policy, or running it through the HELOC, putting into the policy, running it through the investment, bringing that back in and creating a one-pot system, depending on what you know, like, and understand. It depends on what you want to loan it out to. Are you just concerned with paying down the principal of the house, or you, when you're leaving all that money stuck in your 2x4s, you don't have access to it? Now you're not being efficient. Just like I said 30 seconds ago, it's better to be efficient, and that's what we try to do. So if you have money going into the policy, being efficient, utilizing the 2x4s in your to be efficient, and running that all through a system, now your efficiency level goes up, your income comes down, and your bills go away. Is that okay?
I think some of it's mindset too. Like, what feels more comfortable? Some people just want their homes paid off, right? Some people, that makes them feel better. So it's just what is going to be the thing that's right for you.
The hair on the back of my neck stands up if that happens.
That's my neighbor, man. He's got stories, right? People have stories. He saw his grandmother, his aunt struggle later being entrepreneurs with their mortgage payment. So he's hell-bent on just paying off the home. Doesn't matter how much equity he has in it. Doesn't matter what else. He just wants it paid off because he has that fear. So if it makes you feel better, go for it.
So his house could be paid for, but he could have 3 car loans. That's okay.
Bro, I would try that one for a while. I get it.
or 2 credit cards that he owes $50,000 a piece on. That's okay.
You're right.
Just playing.
So J10 is saying, what about if I have a HELOC and plan to use for upgrades to my home? Should I dump it into a policy first?
Hey, real quick. Sorry to interrupt. Can we maybe link Noggle's YouTube where he's done some stuff with Christy Van and hey, paying off my home first? Let's add that to the chat, please.
Who's Noggle?
All right, go, Joe, while I find that video.
So if you have a HELOC and you plan to put upgrades on your home, you're just utilizing one for the other. You take your HELOC, you can put it into the policy. Now you're borrowing from the policy. Your money is working for you to begin with. I would find an investment to put the money into and then have the interest come in to pay for my upgrades in my home. That's what I do. I have other people's pay for my stuff. So HELOC into the policy into an investment comes back in, and that's what I use to put a deck on, put a hot tub on.
And let me
There's a visual for you. Go in a hot tub. You're welcome.
And I'll even expand on that because Joseph, to go back to the cash flow quadrant, if you're coming to our 2-day event, we'll get deep into it. But Joseph is talking about the 4th quadrant of him being an investor. But Hannah, Joseph, what if I'm not to that quadrant yet? It is totally okay. The whole idea is run the money through the policy, dump it into the policy first, and then take it out to go pay the contractors. And then once I pay them, because, hey, maybe you're coming to us and you're saying, I need this. One thing Larry Steinhaus has taught me, there's financial choices and there's lifestyle choices. The financial choice would be, hey, go give it to investments and have the investments go and pay for the upgrades on the home. But the lifestyle choices, what if I got a leaky roof right now and I got water that's flooding into me? I need that money to go put on a new roof on my house. So that's more of a lifestyle choice. So I'll use the money from the policy to then go and pay the contractors. Then once they're paid and my new roof is on, then I'll just pay myself back as if I were to take this loan from a commercial bank and then pay that back to myself and in the policy.
The HELOC interest rate will have to do, have a plan to do with it too, because you're going to have HELOC interest rate. You're going to have the interest rate that you're going to pay back to the policy. You're going to make money in the policy. But if you're, you have to always think of the arbitrage too. I like to make spread on my money.
Absolutely.
True, a lot to think about.
It's all mathematical. It has to all make sense, and you have to do it efficiently.
Matthew Fisher is saying, will we still be able to put additional PUA in the policy after the first 10 years?
Usually, it just depends on the policy structure, the individual, and how it's built. But in most cases, yes.
And Matthew's my person. Yes, Matthew.
There you go.
Beautiful.
I was thinking, wow, Hannah can read a lot, but she knew. That's her guy.
And then maybe we can close with this question. Expand on.
I got one more. I want to hit. Okay,
go ahead. Which one do you think? I didn't see it.
It was J Babe. And then I like to land on that one. J Babe coming in at 5:16 p.m. Eastern time, right above Mr. James.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, I found out that if I would have put $25,000 in my adjustable flexible premium life to start, I would have absorbed the mortality charge and administrative fees. Is that what you mean?
Yes. You're talking about an index universal life policy. We are talking about whole life policies. There are reasons why we're not using IULs, VULs to create a banking system for ourselves. So if you go over to Chris Nagel's YouTube channel or my YouTube channel, the Money Multiplier podcast, and just search up IUL, you'll go into the differences of those different vehicles and why we prefer to use one. In my opinion, one's used as a banking system, the other one is an investment. So that's what you're talking about there. That you're talking apples and oranges. It's a different vehicle.
Okay, and then actually, Joe, this one just came in, and then I bet you can roll in explain the efficiency is key to this. So question is, generally, as per IBC process, the best way to buy a car is via policy loan. What if you are getting an auto loan at a very low rate, say 1%? In that case, would you advise, would you advise the policy, or, just going with like BMW financing for 1%?
So you have $100,000 in your policy. They would say, okay, take 100 out of your policy and go buy the car, and then pay yourself back $1,000 a month. I'd rather take the 100,000, put it into an investment, have the investment come back in at $2,000 a month to pay an $800 GM loan. So you're making $1,200 on that money and still paying off that $800 car. So yes, I would go to GM, get a loan. If it's low, put the money into a investment, have the investment pay for the car. That is another way.
And Joe's hitting the nail on the head, because that's exactly what my mama did when she bought her new Camaro back in 2020. I mean, the bankers over there, they gave her a loan interest of less than 1%. I mean, it was cheap money. So the reason that she took out that loan is because, okay, I'm going to take out this loan from you, because then it frees up the capital in my policies to go out and make more investment deals. And then that's what's going to roll in and pay you back, Mr. Banker. But again, this is all in how you behave and act with your policies, because you got to make sure you pay that monthly payment back to the banker each month, because they are in control of that transaction. So it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, you got to make that payment back to them. And I know we got 3 minutes here, but I want to touch on Guillermo's question right here. He's saying, and it was my comment of IULs and whole lives, he's saying both are living benefits, none are investments. Guillermo, I'm going to die on this hill until the day that they're putting dirt on my head. No, my definition of an investment is it can go up in value, but it can also go down and lose value. That's my definition of an investment. If you go into an IUL policy and you look on the guaranteed side on that tabular detail page, when you get into the stages of 65 to 75, you'll notice that the cash value starts going down along with the death benefit. And it's just because of how that policy is engineered. So yes, it is an investment in my humble opinion. But again, you don't got to agree with me, but that's just my opinion, and I'm going to die on that hill. Sorry if I'm being too blunt, but I'm just straight.
No, I loved it.
You're
I'm
right.
going to do that sometime until they're putting dirt on my head. All right, cool. And then we can finish with this one too while we got a minute left here. Is Mimi saying, do you buy additional policies with your money you receive from your investment?
Yep.
Possibly. You might repay your policy loans too.
You have what the wealthy have, more choices.
Okay, and then before we wrap, I just want to, put if anybody is looking to get started with their own bank, you can go to mentors.beyourownbanker.com. That's how you get scheduled with us. You could be talking to Brian Fouts, Jason Sipple, Carson Herling, anyone on our team there if you use that link. And then again, this weekend, it's gomoneyschoolrei.com/IBC. That's for this Friday and Saturday. And then Hannah's Nashville Mastermind is the moneymultiplier.com/mastermind 2024.
Yeah. Hey, and Guillermo, I want you to come out. I would love to meet you in person. So if you come out to that October mastermind, I actually have a whole segment on IUL, whole life. And I actually have that gentleman, Clay Summers, coming on, and he's going to be walking through real life stories and scenarios of what has happened with people owning IULs. And I'll just even shout it out. I mean, I don't mean to, kind of cross promo there, but I mean, we're all just friends. We're a big community over here. If you go to YouTube and look up Life 180, his name is Chris McPatrick, and Chris gets deep into that stuff. And what's really cool about Chris is he's not a licensed life agent. He just has this knowledge. He practices this concept and different things, but really go and study some of his content of what he's doing out there. So Life 180 is a good YouTube channel to study this stuff on.
Yeah, Hannah, I think he is now, just in the last year or two.
Okay. That's good.
I love it. Thanks, guys.
Stephen Nagy, you going to bring us out?
All right. Awesome work. Thanks, everyone, for being here. And everyone have a great day. We look forward to talking with any of you who can help you. Just reach out to us, and we'll see you guys on the 2-day training starting Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Other than that, have a great week.
See you this weekend.
See ya.
Take care. See you Friday.